guys a super quick 5-minute overview of how people afford college in the US. Right. College in the US is really expensive. As we said yesterday, don't feel the need to take notes because we'll share these slides with you and they have a lot of links. So just like use your ears and your eyes for now. So people in the US afford college mainly through 4 different ways. They may get financial aid from their college, which may be need-based. So if you demonstrate that you don't have enough money, they may give you some money, or they may give you merit-based aid, which means that you have impressed them, or that you are perhaps have better academic scores or something relative to the rest of the students that usually go there. You may also get financial aid from the US government, which is what Sergio is going to tell us more about, which may come in the form of grants, which is something that you don't have to pay back, or loans, which are something that you do have to pay back. People also find other sources of private scholarships, and I threw in there a few links for places where you can find them. We also have our very own scholarships at LHF, about which we'll speak tomorrow and on Thursday. And then as a very, very last resort, you could access private loans, but we would recommend you steer away from those because they usually have conditions that are not very favorable to you as a student. So I think what I was most excited to speak to you all about today is that there's some colleges that are need blind, and there's some colleges that will meet the financial need of their students. So some colleges, you can see 3 different types there, right? So there's one type of college where you may have all the need in the world, like you may not be able to afford it, but they will not give you any money. There's another type of college that will say like, okay, if you demonstrate that you can't afford this college, we will make sure you can afford it using a mix of scholarship money and also loans, which means that some of that money you will have to pay back. And then there's the third type, which is the best kind of college, in my opinion, which will cover all of your demonstrated need. Which means that if you say, hey, if you show, as Sergio will explain later, that you don't have the resources to pay for the very, very expensive tuition fees and other expenses, they will make sure that you can afford that with scholarship money only, that you don't have to pay back later. So I added in here the list of colleges that offer that option. But I would recommend that you just like check their websites to make sure that that information is still correct. I think it's worth saying, although Anna will get into this a bit more in a bit, that some of these colleges will also meet the full need of undocumented students, although you should check their website to make sure. So that's mostly for US citizens. So for international citizens, the list of colleges that will give you all the money that you need is a bit shorter. There's only 5 colleges. So it's Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, and Amherst. But I think for the international people here today, those are colleges that you should consider, I think, applying for if you're interested, because you may be able to go there only paying as much as you're able to pay, basically. Yeah, and I won't go into detail here, but you will have to demonstrate your need through filling out the FAFSA, which is what Sergio will speak about, or the CSS profile, and you should just yeah. So this is something you should explore more, basically. And a final note from me today, college in the US is ridiculously expensive, and the price tag can be very, very scary. But I would really encourage you all to really explore whether, like, what the actual cost of that college will be for you, because it may be that a college seems very expensive, but it's actually like not a really bad option for you, depending on your need, for example. So make sure you do your research, apply wherever you think you would do well at school, and read the fine print and make sure that you're making informed decisions. And that is all from me today. I will not give you an hour-long presentation as I did yesterday, but I hope that you take something out of this very brief presentation.